What's going on, kettlebellers? I'm going to show you a little bit of the training that I've been doing lately. It's from the Simple and Sinister program. I'll go over that. You'll see everything that's going on there. And I'm going to talk to you about why Bro Octane is an asshat. So stay tuned and let's get into it. Alright guys, first thing we have here is a Goblet Squat. It's called a Goblet Squat because of the way in which I'm holding the kettlebell. Squatting motion is generally the same. Notice hips are going down, knees are tracking over the toes. I'm opening up in the hips, keeping the core tight and the back straight. Breathing in on the way down, exhaling on the way up. Driving through those heels, really working on opening up those hips. I did 3 sets of 5. Next up, this is going to be the Kettlebell Swing. I'm using an 80-pound kettlebell here. I'm not sure what your thoughts are of this particular exercise. I'm not sure if you think it looks hard, if you think it looks easy, if you think it looks hard, complicated. It's not a super difficult exercise to learn, but once you learn it, there are definitely parts and steps that you have to go through in order to learn it, but once you have learned it, it's pretty straightforward to execute repeatedly. It is, first of all, a hinge, so as opposed to the squat. Squat, you'll notice my hips go straight down, come straight back up. My hips, if you notice here, I'm about to start, watch where my hips go. They're going to end up going straight back away from the plants, or away from the clock, depending on where you want to look. Look, see, hips reach back, hips are reaching back, hips come forward, hips back, hips forward, hips back, hips forward. It's a hinge. It activates the posterior chain of the body. So that's your hamstrings, it's your glutes, it's your back, it's your lats, rear deltoids, triceps, a little bit of the calves, but not much. Quads do get engaged, but mainly at the top where the hips are fully extended. At the top, when you stop the bell and send it back the other way, you're engaging your pectorals, your triceps. Of course, your forearms are working because you're holding onto the bell the whole time. You're engaging your core. You're maintaining a straight, neutral spine the whole time. This is a great exercise for developing strength and power, as well as cardiovascular endurance. My work to rest ratio here is I perform 10 swings at the top of every minute for 10 minutes, so it's 100 swings total. It takes me about 15 to 20 seconds to do a set of 10, which leaves me with about 40 seconds left to recover and breathe. The goal here is to toss the kettlebell up with as much force as I can and toss it back down with as much force as I can. This causes the movement to be very fast, but it also causes you to develop a lot of strength and power because you're adjusting and controlling the dynamics of the movement. I don't know how well you can see it here, but I'm trying to breathe into the diaphragm so you see my stomach expand and contract. I'm trying to stay out of breathing in the shoulders. Kettlebell swings are what are considered a ballistics movement. They are ballistic in nature, which means that you do not have constant tension on the body. There's really only tension in 2 separate points, at the top and at the bottom, when I'm changing the direction of the bell. The rest of the time, I'm just going through the hinge, programming that pattern, conditioning the body. This is a great way to actually rehabilitate lower back injuries because it doesn't put any compounding pressure on the lower back. What it does instead is it puts a shear force on the back, but it is such a low tension in that particular plane that it pumps a lot of blood into the area without putting a lot of pressure on it. It's a great way to help you rehabilitate the exercise, or the body part. So we're going to do 10 more here. Notice the breathing. Hard exhale at the top. Good inhale on the way down. You always want that hard exhale at the top. It lets you know you're breathing the right way, as well as pressurizing your core properly. And contrary to popular belief, your core is not your abs. It's a series of 4 muscles that form a pressurized section around your midsection. I'll get into that in another video. As I continue with these swings, I want to talk a little bit about why Bro Octane is a bit of an asshat. What you need to understand is training till you puke is not a good idea. Vomiting is a response to an overload on your nervous system. So you'll see powerlifters do this from time to time. They get under a weight that is extremely, extremely heavy. And what happens is they end up overloading their nervous system such to the point that they puke. Usually you'll see them squat, and then as they come up, they're projectile vomiting. As they come up, sometimes you'll see this in the gym as well, but people rarely want to actually train that hard to get to that point. And then you see with deadlift too, same thing when you pick it up, you projectile vomit. You're training at the absolute maximum of your capacity when you do that. You can do it with endurance activities as well. You're pushing your body to its absolute maximum capacity, and the only way it knows how to respond is by purging itself of anything that may prevent it from maintaining your existence, basically. So digesting food that you have in your stomach is not a paramount priority when your body is afraid that you could die. So that is why you are purging that from your system, because your body believes that you're in a life or death situation. You're pushing yourself to such a high level that your body honestly thinks it's dying. So want to avoid that. It also happens in life or death combat situations. Usually it's incontinence at that point in time. You urinate or defecate all over yourself because your body wants to, again, purge that from its system in a fight or flight response situation. So training at that level, if you're a competitor and you get to that level in a meet, that's one thing. But if you're doing it in regular training, you get to that level regularly, repeatedly, it's very unhealthy. Even for you to get close to that level, you're going to burn yourself out. It's very, very unhealthy. And of course, yes, it would keep you from having to worry about counting the calories that you puked, but so does bulimia. I think we all understand that bulimia is a bad idea. Instead, eat corn instead of pretending to puke it like I did in that video. It's a good starch. So too are potatoes, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, rice, beans, peas, lentils. These things are great complex carbohydrates for you. They're also low in fat. They're going to keep you healthy. Fruits and vegetables, also wonderful things to eat. Eat in abundance. Keep those animal products out of your diet. You don't need them. They do nothing for you. And keep training with kettlebells. We're going to get back into the training here a little bit. Kettlebell swings and Getups, which you'll see later here, are the bread and butter of kettlebell training. I don't focus on them all the time because my goals change, and so I program differently. There's no reason why you have to do everything all the time in every training session. You pick something you want to work on, 1 or 2 things that you want to work on, and you work on that, you focus on it, and you try to improve upon it. And once you hit a certain point, then you can change your goals and work on something else you want to work on. You do not have to do everything all the time. For me, doing swings and get-ups constantly all the time would get a little bit boring. In fact, it gets a lot boring for me. I like to do snatches, and I like to do presses especially. I love doing presses. And heavy double kettlebell front squats is something else I really like to work on. Due to my injury in my upper back, I haven't really been able to press very well, so I'm stuck swinging and doing get-ups for the time being. So I'll work on these until I'm back to healed. So here we're going to start the get-up. I have a timer set. I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it tells me when to go. A similar work-rest ratio here. I perform one get-up at the top of every minute for 5 minutes. I'm not going to actually show you all of these get-ups because they can get kind of boring to watch unless you think this is really cool. I highly recommend this movement. It's great for mobility, great for strength, again, great for core stability and endurance. You have to learn to breathe behind the shield, which is what it's called when you breathe with a tightened up abdominal section. Very important to learn how to do, whether you're pursuing a type of physical activity that involves contact. You want to make sure you can maintain solid midsection in case you get hit in the stomach while at the same time breathing. And generally, anytime you get under load, you're going to want to make sure you maintain a solid core. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself hurt by compressing a disc or something else. Basically, if your muscles aren't supporting your body, it is your joints and your bones that are going to do it. And that's where joint problems typically come in, is because it is your joints that are supporting the body and not your muscles. So the get up is a total body movement. Everything in your body is involved as you do this. It's another one of those complicated movements that has a lot of steps, but once you learn them, it's just a matter of practicing them until you get remotely good at them. I'm using a 53-pound bell here. My personal best is a 96-pound bell for one get up on each side. That was about a year ago now that I did that. It's been a while. Again, it's that whole cycling training thing. I worked on bringing that get up to that weight. That was the goal that I had for myself at that time. Once I reached it, I changed my cycle, my goals, my training goals, what I wanted to accomplish. Now, if I wanted to get back into that, I would start basically where I am now and work my way up. I would be able to get to the level of the 96 faster, and I'd be able to hit it more consistently because I've done it once already. It's like riding a bike. You never really forget. You just have to re-educate yourself. So I hope this stuff makes sense to you. I can break these down for you, maybe in an instructional video or something. There's probably other ones out there that are pretty decent as well, but if this stuff is interesting at all to you, I hope you tune in and continue to watch these videos and subscribe. I'll continue putting out these training videos. I'm going to use that pattern where I'm going to make a bro octane video where I make ridiculous claims and then put together a video like this where I talk about legitimate training and kind of show you what I'm doing, and hopefully you guys find some value out of it. Until next time, we will see you then, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.